Hello everybody and welcome to another Testing with Chronno, where I have one specific question about something inside of Feed the Beast, and then I go off and test it. Today's question comes from a little debate I had on the server between myself and Westwoods. He told me about his plans for his future on the server. He wants to have 100 ultimate solar panels and 4 Matter Fabricators, which means 25 per Matter Fab. But I thought that 16 is the max that a Matter Fab can input. 8,192 EU per tick max. I have reason to believe that that is the case. It has not been written anywhere, but that is my belief. West, however, thinks that the extra 9 will make a difference. So that's what I'm here to test. On this side, we have 25 ultimate hybrid solar panels. 10 here, 10 there, and 5 there. Over here, we have 16. 10 here, 3 there, and another 3 there. Each are connected with the same amount of glass fiber cabling, each of which are going into an EU splitter, which presently is active on both sides to stop any EU flow. Right now, both the Matter Fabricators are completely full of scrap and have no power whatsoever in them. And again, this is true of both of them. There is no power. That's very important that they will be starting on even terms. Both EU splitters are connected to the same lever. So when I flip this switch, both EU splitters will turn off at the exact same time. Now I'm overemphasizing all of this because I want to make it absolutely clear that the only variable is the amount of power that's going into each of the Matter Fabricators. All in all, these engines here, which are perfectly synced at the moment, because that's what redstone engines do once they reach their maximum power, they synchronize. They don't really matter to the test. What really matters to the test is which one outputs faster. But this is more visual. We can stand back here and we can watch and see which one outputs first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this switch, and then I will check on both of them to see if there's any visual indications of which one's traveling faster, and we will keep an eye on which wooden pipe has its EU outputted, or the UU matter outputted first. Now, all of these ultimate hybrid solar panels have been filled to their max, 1 million EU. They can output 512 EU per tick and generate 512 EU per tick. So as long as the sun is up in the sky, which I will reset to morning, they will always output the same amount that they input, so we won't run out of power. So this test will be even as our one variable will allow it to be. So the first thing we do, we set the time to 0, which is first thing in the morning. And just to make sure, yep, we're outputting max. So let's flick this switch and see what happens. And I will have to go back and check the footage just to make absolutely sure everything activated at the same exact time. You can see this going pretty quick. How about this one over here? Ah, it's only at 18%. This one's at 33 already. There is definitely a noticeable difference between the two. So I was wrong. I was definitely wrong. I was very wrong. Still not terribly fast, though. It still takes a long time to make one UU. Which I guess begs the question, can we make it faster? I'm leaving this run so that I can see how long it takes in the editing. See how long each one of these takes from when the second I flip the switch to the second these two outputted. But in my testings in single player, just when I was playing around, I did seem to find a max of how fast these matter fabs can go. So I guess the question is, exactly how fast can they go? Is 25 the max? Is 50 the max? I don't know. Let's find out. Here we have two more tests. That one has 25 ultimate hybrid solar panels as a control, and then this one is 30. So this way we can compare directly with the previous test as well as a new test. So outside of that, everything else is exactly the same. So let's fire this up and see if we can see a difference. 3, 6, 9, 9, 12, 15, 21, 24. I'm not seeing a difference. There might be a difference. This one might be just a little bit slower. 42, 45, 39, 42, 45. Alright, so it is a little bit slower, but not as dramatic of a change. But it is only 5 different instead of 9. That makes 100 right there. This one's about to reach 100. And there we go. There's 100. Alrighty, so we can see that 30 solar panels are faster than 25. So now we go on to the next test. Now over here we have, once again, 30 ultimate hybrid solar panels as the control from the previous test. And then here we have 40. Now this looks a little weird, but because these are glass fiber cables, it's not going to affect the test because it looks weird. The ultimate hybrid solar panels will output exactly as much as they would if I put them all in a straight line. So, here we go with test number 3. And let's see what the 40's got. The 40's up to 12, 15, 18. Okay, this one just made it to 18 as I clicked, so I think the 40 is, again, faster. That's up to 36. This is up to 51 already, 54, 57, 45. Yes, the 40 is definitely faster. And we're already getting up to 100%. 40 is by far faster. Very definitely faster than 30. Alright, so I think that answers that question. 40 is definitely faster than 30. So I guess the question is there an upper limit? This test is going to be ever so slightly different. These blocks here are what are called quantum generators, and they're not accessible outside of creative mode. What they can provide is an adjustable power source. They don't require fuel, they don't require sunlight, they don't require really anything except just the settings. And you can just basically set them by right-clicking on them. And your output is this total amount of EU per tick, and the packet size is the voltage. Like, as we know, 512 EU per tick is considered high voltage. Anything higher than that is considered extreme voltage. This one right here is set to 51,200 EU per tick, which is equivalent to 100 ultimate hybrid solar panels. This one over here, set to 46,080 EU, which is the equivalent of 90 ultimate hybrid solar panels. Now, as a comparison, in our last test, the 40 ultimate hybrid solar panels were only outputting 20,480 EU. But all of them were outputting in 512 packets. So this and this are the equivalent of having 90 ultimate hybrid solar panels in line, or 100 ultimate hybrid solar panels in line. It's the same exact outcome, just ever so slightly easier to set up. And we have everything identical to the previous tests, everything else anyways. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to see if there's a noticeable speed difference between 100 and 90. If there is, I'm going to qualify that there is no upper limit to how fast these things can go, and if there is, it's pretty much unobtainable for anybody outside of creative mode, and thus isn't really useful information. So here we go. 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 36, 39, 42, 45, 60s, 80s, 90s, 80s, 90s, yep. 100 ultimate hybrid solar panels is faster than 90 ultimate hybrid solar panels. But what I am noticing is these numbers don't seem to be increasing, like they don't seem to be accelerating at an exponential rate. Like between this test and the 16 ultimate hybrid solar panels, we would expect this to increase significantly faster. But it's not really. So there seems to be a curve, an ever shallowing curve towards the upper limit of these things. So there might not be an upper limit, but it might reach a point where you can't get it up to the next level because the curve has just shallowed so much. Don't know that for sure. That's something that would have to be torn into in the code, and as should be clear in my tests, I'm not a code person. So, I will say that I was very much wrong, but, no, not but, and West was very right. I was going to say that plugging in 1 into 100 would just be as fast as 4 plugged into 100, but that's wrong because of the curve. 4 plugged into 100, in theory, should run faster total than 1 plugged into 100. But that's a test for another day. You know what? No. Let's test that right now. Let's not wait for another day to test that. So what I have here is 2 quantum generators with the same amount of output. This one is going into 1 Matter Fabricator. This one is powering 4. Just want to make sure they're all full. And basically this one would be like 100 ultra hybrid solar panels connected into 1 Matter Fab. And this one is like 100 ultimate hybrid solar panels connected straight into 4 Matter Fabs. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it for approximately 2 minutes. Doesn't matter exactly how long it runs. It doesn't have to run for exactly 2 minutes, as long as the time that both can run are exactly the same. So when I flip this switch, I'm going to start my countdown timer, and in about 2 minutes, I'm going to turn this off. Assuming that this guy doesn't run out of scrap, this should be a good test. Basically what I'm going to do is once the time's up, I'm going to count how much UU matter is in each, and hopefully it's a big enough difference to tell. If not, I guess we'll have to, I don't know, estimate. Possibly run it longer. I don't know, but here I go. And there we have it. I didn't let it run for 2 minutes. I let it run for 3, possibly a little bit more than that. And I'm not sure what our outcome is going to be. I did notice some discrepancies into when this side outputted and when this side outputted. If there was no curve whatsoever, then this side would output 4. And by the time this one, or at the same time that this one outputted the 4th, this side would output 1 each. However, I didn't see that. Now, I'm not 100% sure what I did see. It was kind of hard to keep track. But let's count. If there is a curve, this side will have more. If there isn't a curve, they will be the same. Or at least really close to. So, let's count. Well, we have 9 here, which means that we have something interesting going on, that it didn't output 4 at a time. And we have 10 here. Those are pretty close. 3%, 79%, 58%, 37%. So these weren't outputting evenly. And this one's 80%. I guess a good test would be how much total scrap was used. So we got 5 stacks here, 5 and over half a stack. A stack, a stack, a stack, a stack, so that's 4. It's definitely 5 and probably over half a stack. Okay. Hang on, let me get the calculator and actually do some accounting. Alrighty, I crunched the numbers and I have 296 scrap used on this side and 359 scrap used on this side. Now, why, oh why did we use so much scrap on this side where we use so much less on this side, but we have 10 UU matter over here and 9 UU matter over here? Well, that's because of the 4 in here. If we took the 3% plus the 79% plus the 58% plus the 37%, we would actually probably end up with 2, possibly just under 2 more UU matter total. So that would actually put this side ahead. Not by too terribly much, but over the course of time, it would add up. So, West, you are very much right when you say you want 100 Ultimate Hybrid solar panels with 4 Matter Fabs, as opposed to me saying you don't need 100, it's just 16 per. So, you're very much right. I wish you luck on that design. And I hope that everybody else learned something useful. To be most efficient, it's going to cost a lot to make. On that note, I will say, as always, keep playing the game and have fun.